the #1 beach volleyball team in the country and the returning national pairs champions. Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes have won 52 straight matches, but number 2 Pepperdine stands in the way. Next. Day in Southern California for beach volleyball, and it doesn't get any better than this. #1 versus #2, USC versus Pepperdine inside Merle Norman Stadium on the campus of USC. Taking a look at the top 10 in the nation, these two have sat atop the poll all season long. They flipped spots in the ABCA poll this week as USC beat Pepperdine last weekend. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Anne-Marie Anderson alongside 3-time Olympian Holly McPeak. And Holly, part of USC's success is their #1 pair, Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes.
USC is led by these two players. Not only did they come in as top recruits, but they continue to push their level every day. And that's what makes everybody around them better.
Yeah, they're the defending national championships in terms of pairs. Meanwhile, for Pepperdine, they lost to USC this last weekend, but they did beat USC earlier in the year. What do you think is going to separate these teams today?
Well, there's no doubt these are the top 2 beach volleyball programs in the country. Both matches have gone 3-2, so it's going to be close. I expect that same result today. Who wins? I don't know. It's who's going to execute at the highest level today.
This is the definition of a rivalry in this sport, in beach volleyball. USC and Pepperdine, #1 and 2. Both of them have won the national championship in the past. USC coming off both the team and pair championships last year. They want to have a great showing today.
Your Pac-12 Network, or watch on Pac-12 Now.
What a beautiful day in Southern California, Merle Norman Stadium on the campus of USC. Very proud sports tradition for the Trojans, and it's no different for beach volleyball. The USC Trojans, the defending national champions in both pairs and teams. And we're going to start with our first flight of action. On court 1 will be the 4 pairs. Court 2 will be the 5 pairs. And there's been a little bit of a switch, Holly, as we look at the 4 pairs today. It's going to be April Bustamante and Jenna Belton of USC. That's standard, but there's been a switch for Pepperdine.
Yeah, Coach Nina Matthews for Pepperdine made the switch with her 3s and 4s. This team of Corinne Quiggle, Skylar Caputo have been struggling lately, not winning at their spot. And Maddie Rowe and Annika Wilson have been playing extremely well. So the switch was made prior to this match.
And the first ball down is at the hands of Corinne Quiggle.
Well, the interesting thing about this court is all these players have played together in the USA High Performance. April Bustamante played a long time with Skylar Caputo on the other side of the net, and Corinne Quiggle played with Jenna Belton as well at times.
No block, ball is down, and Holly, this is only the first flight of games. Take us through what we're going to see today.
We're going to have 5 matches of pairs, best 3 of 5 wins. The first flight or round of matches are pairs 4 and 5's matchup. Second round will be pairs 1s, 2, and 3. 2 sets basically to 21. If a third set is necessary, 15 points, you have to win by 2.
We mentioned these teams split earlier in the year, talking about USC and Pepperdine. USC beat Pepperdine most recently this past weekend in Hermosa Beach. And there hasn't been a ton of changes other than when this pair changes. It's really about fine-tuning your game at this point.
Absolutely, and both these programs are really deep. They've got 5 strong teams. We talked to Coach Nina Matthews. She said, we're very happy with our 10 players who are competing. You see a great serve by Corinne Quiggle. She hits the jump float. She's got nice pop from the back line, gets an ace down the middle.
Quiggle to serve again. Pepperdine with an early lead, 4-1. Goes at Belton. Block is up, and Belton just goes to the back line.
Pepperdine choosing to go at both USC players. That time, Jenna Belton gets the serve and goes high over line for the kill.
The match on court number 3 is an exhibition match played to 21 points.
Serving the seam, and it works as the pass is out of control. One blocker will be up, and so again, just high over the block to the line.
Jenna Belton going over line both times. That one dropped short over the blocker. Karen Quiggle blocks a little early, trying to get down. Karen makes a nice turn, just can't reach it.
That's one of the things that we've talked about with coaches throughout the year, and I've talked about with you throughout your career, is in terms of the blocking, the adjustments, and timing. You mentioned she's early. How difficult is it to adjust your timing from the indoor to the outdoor game?
Well, you're blocking by yourself, so it's a lot different. You have to be patient. You have to get your feet in front of the ball and wait and push over. So it's a big adjustment.
As you mentioned, plenty of sand experience, of course, on this court. Nina Matthews in her 5th season as the Waves beach volleyball coach. They do not come more seasoned than the 2 coaches that we have today. And look at the cut shot from April Bustamante.
Well, the defense for Pepperdine cheating towards the line, and April Bustamante's got a great cut shot. She'll use it.
Caputo has a blocker in front of her. And there's that cut shot again, replay version.
Well, it starts with a good touch at the block by Jenna Belton. Ball set tight. You watch, she gets a nice touch, sets up her partner, April Bustamante. Again, nobody at the net. She goes to her cut shot.
It's tied up at 5 on court number 2 as well.
Doesn't go over. And in talking with head coach Anna Collier at the beginning of the year, she said that most people had seen Bustamante as a blocker, but she sees her as a defender and has told her as a freshman you need to get used to it because long term this is where she wants her.
And I think she's bought in. She's a tall, athletic, lanky defender. And the nice thing about her is if she digs the ball, she can put the ball away with her length. That time, open net for Pepperdine, and they crush it.
Quiggle's serve is long. And you can imagine, you can speculate that Quiggle and Caputo weren't very happy about being moved, and so with something to prove to Nina Matthews today, 14-3 as partners. And an opportunity missed there.
Absolutely, because Pepperdine, both players defensively in the same spot that USC. Jenna Belton, nobody blocking, hits that ball long.
And so Holly, in a teachable moment there, because we talked about it yesterday, pulling off, the person at the net pulls off, she pulled off right into the defender. What do you do?
Well, if you're the blocker, you need to communicate where you're dropping the ball, and the defender behind has to adjust.
Number 2, Skylar Caputo.
Pass is solid. Blockers pulling off.
Freshman and 1 sophomore.
Bustamante back to defend. Ball is wide, and the point for USC as they not only made up the deficit, but now lead.
Karen Quiggle going for that sharp angle, missed by an inch. Way off the net, though. Pepperdine needs to transition set the ball better if they want to score off digs.
As Bustamante sends that one a little bit long on the jump serve, Anna Collier wants her to keep jump serving all season long, says, look, we're never going to just get it in. That's not the way we play. Wants her to be aggressive from the service line. USC answered back.
Jenna Belton, open net. Good swing down the line for USC.
And the other court, the 5 pairs, also a tight one. Kremer and Nightingale with a 2-point lead over Cash and Cyber. Caputo, it's her hand, makes the move.
Skylar Caputo and April Bustamante, best friends and longtime partners on the beach, facing off together. This ball set a little bit off the net, but Skylar Caputo able to put that away for Pepperdine.
Little shot, picked up and put high by Bustamante. What a nice dig by Belton, and turned.
Transition setting. If it was a competition, USC would be winning. And what I mean by that is both teams are making good digs, but it's what you do after the dig. You want to set your partner to the net. This ball's off and inside and allows USC to make a good defensive play. This is a good transition set at the net.
Again, sent wide, the unforced errors as USC builds their lead.
Pepperdine struggling just their past set game. And that's probably why Coach Nina Matthews made the adjustment. Both these players are great. They've just kind of hit a dip. You know, one's a freshman, one's only probably close to 19. Corinne Quiggle came in early last year. So she's a young sophomore, and Skylar Caputo just a freshman.
Another big dig through the net. USC's defense, sick. Pepperdine ends the conversation.
That time, Skylar Caputo put Corinne Quiggle on the net. Easy kill for Pepperdine.
A couple of great defensive plays by USC as they were smiling before the match, relishing the opportunity to face Pepperdine again.
You done yet?
One last screw.
The protection of life insurance from New York Life. Get started today.
Welcome back. 2 courts of action on court 2. 6 ties throughout this with 11-10 lead by Kremer and Nightingale, but we're going to return to the action on court 1. The 4 pairs, Belton and Bustamante of USC, just put the ball away again.
Jenna Belton had a really nice set on the net, just super confident offensively, hammers it down for USC.
Going behind this time, but it's tracked just fine by Belton. And then Bustamante hammers it right at the neck of Corinne Quiggle.
USC looks so much more aggressive. Pepperdine looks like they're kind of lacking confidence. I've seen these players play. They're not playing their style of play, which is aggressive, set each other on the net.
Overdig. What another defensive option for USC. Chicken wing goes nowhere.
April Bustamante for USC right now, touching everything, making Pepperdine work for their points. First, it starts with a stab by Jenna Belton, and then on the second one, the power, April Bustamante with the chicken wing.
Trying to serve the seams, and it works well. An ace for Caputo.
Service pressure by Skylar Caputo. Good jump float, kind of catches them in the middle. April Bustamante gets a touch on it, but USC can't get it over.
A second devastating serve from Skylar Caputo.
Back-to-back tough serves by Pepperdine. They need that to stay in this match because USC has a lot of momentum. They're playing much more aggressive.
And you mentioned that Caputo played a lot with Bustamante and neighboring beach towns growing up in the South Bay. And so in terms of exploiting weaknesses,
these 4 players trained together all summer long. They competed against each other. They know every tendency of one another. So it's just who's executing, and that's what I'm talking about in terms of the set. Set each other up to the net, and I think you have a much better chance.
And these teams are serving seams, both of them.
Jump serve, ace down the middle, gets the back line. April Bustamante has really been working on her jump serve right down the middle. Can't beat that one.
Yeah, Anna Collier, as I mentioned, had said earlier this year that she makes Bustamante jump serve. Said it's going to take some time for her to get that confidence. It took some time for her to not charge the net, you know, because she was used to playing up at the net. But boy, what a high-level match, and this is the 4s so far. It gives you an idea of how deep these 2 teams are. It's a special day on the campus of USC as they say goodbye to their seniors in terms of their last regular season home match. Seniors celebrated here, including Zoe Nightingale in her 3rd senior day, by the way. 1 at USC for indoor, 1 beach, and 1 here.
2 at UCLA.
UCLA, excuse me.
And then ending here. She's a grad student here at USC.
And Alexa Strange receiving her due, as well as Emily Young, who was on the indoor team. And yes, for Zoe Nightingale, indoor national champion with UCLA, thank you. And then beach for UCLA senior day in her 3rd today. And her parents said, don't forget about high school. We've done this senior day thing quite a bit.
But they didn't miss this one.
This is the final senior day, the final. Conversation between Caputo and Quiggle, maybe discussing the seam. Caputo, straight on.
Beautiful set by Karen Quiggle. Gets Skylar Caputo right on the net, no block. Beautiful kill cross court. It's interesting, the wind kind of switching sides. I feel like USC right now on the better side with the wind in their face, but early it seemed like the other side was a little bit better.
Service error returned with a service error, and when the match is going to be as close as this one is, it's interesting to see how it plays out. And the other court's no different. On court 2, the 5 pair is just a 2-point differential, now 3, as Pepperdine leads over there, Cash and Cyber. What a beautiful shot by Bustamante.
I think April Bustamante is a favorite shot. She's just hitting that cut shot perfect from the left. Great hand.
I think until somebody digs it, she's going to keep going with it.
Good fastball option by Karen Quiggle to the corner for Pepperdine.
One-point lead for USC. Quiggle serves Bustamante. Caputo waits. She's going to block.
April Bustamante fired up, and that's one of the things Coach Anna Collier really likes about April Bustamante. She is a competitor. You see the fire. She wants this match today.
And Holly, we see the block formation. They are funneling her to that cross-court shot. If she's hit so many cut shots, and I realize that wasn't a cut across court, why not have her go down the line?
Well, I think they're playing what they think she wants to do. Think she'll switch it up. This time, just an errant pass by Skylar Caputo. That doesn't happen very often.
Both of these teams are freshman-sophomore combinations. We've talked a lot about that there's not much of an opportunity to coach during the match other than on a side switch. Do you have a sense of who's kind of the coach on the court in each of these pairs?
Well, I feel like Karen Quiggle's got a little bit more experience at this level just because she's already played a collegiate season for Pepperdine. So I think she's leading this Pepperdine team. But all these players are pretty confident and experienced on the beach.
Caputo serves, Pepperdine trailing by 2. And the ball is out.
Well, that time they're forcing April Bustamante to hit that sharp angle. She's hit it all day long until then, just wide.
And a service error will be costly as USC will now sit at set point. April Bustamante back to serve. We've seen her rip it on the jump serve. Caputo, no blocker.
That's a nice kill by Skylar Caputo out of the middle of the court. When you're a right-sider and you hit out of the middle, your angles are a lot shorter. So if I was the right side, I'd want to push it more to the right side of the court instead of attacking out of the middle.
Quiggle had to go a little easier on her serve, knowing she had to get it in to keep the set going. And as a result, Pepperdine able to tie it back up at 20 apiece.
Wow, that time April Bustamante had a chance, just poked it a little bit wide down the line.
Fresh legs for the Waves as they fought back by a late deficit. And now Quiggle up. She shows her power.
Well, it's interesting. April Bustamante has had some success with that cut shot, but Pepperdine sat in her cut shot that time, digging it and transitioning it for set point.
How do you like this? You go to Pepperdine and your coach is none other than Marcio Ciccoli on the side. They're talking to you, Holly. Nina Matthews on one side, Marcio Ciccoli on the other. Does it get any better than that?
No, absolutely not. Marcio Ciccoli is now the Olympic coach for April Ross and Carrie Walsh-Jennings. He is, in my mind, one of the best trainers on the beach, and then Nina with her experience. You know, you just can't beat that combo.
The attention focus there, but on court 2, it's another great first set finish as Krimmer and Nightingale with a 1-point lead over Cash and Cyber.
If Pepperdine were to steal this one on court 1, wow. They trailed right at the end able to steal a couple points back.
Meanwhile, USC on court 2 puts another point, and it is set point on court 2, and Pepperdine set point on court 1. And it's tied up again on court 1, extra points. Ball being served on court 2 on the left side of your screen.
I think strategy is so interesting because they got points off April Bustamante and then they served Jenna Belton.
And meanwhile, a win on court 2 as the 5 pair of Kremer and Nightingale pick up the first set win. And so we return to the action on court 1 exclusively for the end of this first set. Little puts Pepperdine in the driver's seat again.
Lots of pressure to side out here.
USC won set 1 on court 2, and it's Pepperdine set point. And Pepperdine takes the first set on court 1. Caputo and Quiggle come back from down against Belton and Bustamante.
Skylar Caputo and Corinne Quiggle stayed patient. They weren't playing their best ball, but came up with some big plays and tough serves at the end.
USC feeling loose before Pepperdine got here, having a good time. We're going to be here for a long time. It's looking to be a tight match.
How many gasolines clean better than water?
Versus the Trojans. Get it, Holly, the waves. If you saw the waves when I said that, it was cool, huh?
Good timing.
Los Angeles, beautiful beach volleyball site, and we are on the campus of USC inside Merle Norman Stadium. Second set of action in the first flight. Court 1, 4 pairs. Caputo and Quiggle took the first set, but we're going to go to the action on court 2, where the 5 pair of Kremer and Nightingale went on a 7-1 run to win the first set.
That's impressive.
In the match on court number 1.
The interesting thing about this matchup for the 5 pairs is that the Pepperdine team won on Saturday last time they matched up.
Yeah, and that caused Anna Collier to again kind of question that coupling of Kremer and Nightingale, and so she tested them.
And they played off, and again, Nightingale Kremer proved themselves the best team to qualify in that 5 spot.
Yeah, and they played off against their other teammates. We should mention there's more than the 10 that you see. There's other players who are trying to vie into that top 10. Performance 10, and then she played Queen. And Holly, if you'll explain what Queen is, it really shows how she tested the individual strengths.
Well, basically, it's a one-on-one competition. You have a partner, you play with everybody, and these players prove that they're the best of the rest, and they get to compete. So you stat everybody's victories, like how does Joe do with everybody else? She wins. Same with Zoe. So it just worked out like they've got the right teams out there.
Yeah, they came out 1 and 2 when you looked at everybody's wins and the way that they statted in terms of their blocks and their hits. Gave Anna Collier confidence to say, this is the right team. This is the right matchup. Chicken wing as Cyber delivers. Now Kremer with a big block in front of her uses a little hand.
Beautiful kill by Joe Kremer. The ball was coming from off the net, and that makes it a tough ball to take a look at the court. You see her peek at the court, and then a nice little soft shot drop short middle.
Zoe Nightingale, we mentioned, had a great indoor career with UCLA, including winning a national championship. But she was a middle blocker and really has only been playing beach the last 2 seasons. What are her biggest challenges?
Well, she's very strong at the net and confident blocking, but you're only one-on-one now. I think the timing, passing the ball, setting the ball, those are things you don't have to do when you're an indoor middle blocker.
Meanwhile, for Pepperdine's pair of Cash and Cyber, you've got a lot of experience. Cash, a redshirt senior out of San Diego. Cyber, a junior transfer who had been with Arizona. Zoe Nightingale went up and expected a different reply, and it's messy.
Well, she was up in the air and the ball was already coming over. As you can see on this replay, the ball is dug over the net, and I think it caught Zoe Nightingale by surprise.
Cash back to serve. Goes at Kremer, as you'd expect the smaller player. Poke is deep. Kremer follows it to the sideline.
I think most teams like to go after the smaller player, but Zoe Nightingale, not a passer indoors. Why not test her out? I think she's a great athlete and she can hit the ball, but she also wants to hit the ball, not necessarily shoot the ball with her size. So not a bad idea to test them.
Kremer digs. Nightingale, solid set. And Kremer puts it away.
Jo Kremer has played herself into some very good volleyball shape, and she's playing at a very high level. I haven't seen her play this well since she was a senior in high school and was really confident, one of the best seniors coming out of high school just 2 years ago.
Anna Collier calls this team Zojo, Zoe Nightingale and Jo Kremer, and says that they can be very chill to the point where they need to keep their energy levels up.
Zoe Nightingale really puts a lot of pressure on her opponents with her block, and Jo Kremer right now playing some fiery defense behind her.
Nightingale just goes down the middle.
Great drop in defense by Zoe Nightingale. So she's usually starts at the net, comes off the net, digs it, and then she's a good 4 feet off the net, hits deep middle. That's impressive.
And you said something a moment ago to follow up on. You said that she tends to hit hard rather than shoot it, and the advantages and disadvantages of that.
Well, it depends what your strengths are defensively as a team. Would you rather play somebody who shoots the ball around or hit it? For me, I think it's easier to defend a hitter. They're hitting you straight ahead, easier to read, and the shots are a little bit more difficult to run down. You need a good balance if you're a strong offensive player. You want to establish power, but also be able to use the whole court.
For Zojo, Jo Kremer and Zoe Nightingale, being coached by Dame Blanton, Olympic gold medalist and volunteer assistant coach here at USC. It's their first season together, but it's also their only season together. And so for Jo Kremer, a transfer, a sophomore, she's going to have to find a new partner and a new rhythm next year.
But for Zoe Nightingale, it's a good opportunity to play with a good scrappy player like Jo, and Jo's in the lineup. That's important.
She's up back to serve now on court one, ready to do on court two. Jo Kremer to serve.
We welcome those of you that were watching Arizona beat Arizona State 4-1. More beach volleyball for you on Pac-12 Network as Pepperdine and USC are squaring off. 1 and 2 in the nation, USC number 1. And this is the definition of a beach rivalry. I'm Anne-Marie Anderson alongside 3-time Olympian Holly McPeak. It's our first flight of action, Holly. What are your impressions so far?
Tight action, kind of what we expected, and really back and forth. It's who's taking control of the match at the end of the set. Right now, Kremer Nightingale really controlling this second set after making a long 7-1 run at the end of the first set to win it.
Kremer serving. Goes cross court, makes Cyber handle the first ball. Nightingale waiting for her. And the chase by Nightingale, not on point.
Good touch defensively, just unable to control it. Pepperdine needs to make a run now, down 5 points.
Cyber serves at Kremer. And for USC, it looks like it's not very precise at the moment.
No, that set came way off the net. Jo Kremer couldn't put much on it.
Court number 2, Sarah Cyber back to serve. Will Detroit go up by 1 on court number 1?
There's the set that Kremer wants. Nightingale patrolling the net, and it works for USC.
Sarah Cyber dug that ball, just dug it too tight, right back to Zoe Nightingale at the net, and she makes Pepperdine pay, up 11-6 in the second set.
The action tight on court number 1. The 4 pair still just 1 point apart after Caputo and Quiggle of Pepperdine won set 1 in extra points. And the option over, and it worked for Pep.
Samantha Cash going over on 2. She plays hard, and she knows Zoe Nightingale's running to the net to block. Quick kill for Pepperdine.
doing a score check on court number 2. We believe it should be 11-6.
They're checking the score on court number 2 to see if it should be 11-6 instead of 12-6. We'll see what Jim Graham, the official, makes it 11-7. Veteran official all over it, just making sure everything's on point. And again, they're going at Kremer consistently. Heads up play, as Cyber says, I'm done with you.
Right now, Pepperdine on a roll, but USC with a good lead. You see the block, Joe Kremer trying to go over Samantha Cash. Nice move, and the cover play keeps it alive, and then Sarah Cyber over on one for the easy kill.
And it's time to pretend.
Zoe Nightingale gets a rare serve. Uses the shot, diggable to your point. And now USC a little bit on the run. Kremer picks it up. And they're playing half court, short court.
Some nice transition sets by Zoe Nightingale to keep that tight ball alive, and then Joe Kremer clears the big Samantha Cash block.
The first ball enters the court. And they'll replay the point, not enough at 10.
Kremer and Nightingale still fighting away. Cash and Cyber, though, every point being contested.
Jump serve just wide by USC, 12-9 on the switch.
And so we'll step away while they take a break. USC with a lead. They won set 1 and have a lead with set 2. Standing room only crowd inside Merle Norman Stadium. First flight of games between the top 2 teams in the nation. On court 2, we've been following the action as Kremer and Nightingale are leading in set number 2. But let's go to the action on court 1 for right now. The 4 pairs, Caputo and Quiggle, fighting against Bustamante and Belden. This set has been tied 5 times so far, Holly.
Dropping off the net is Jenna Belton. Skylar Caputo misses that long, and USC up by 2 points in the second set.
USA is going to have to press to try to get it to a third set. Caputo and Quiggle had a strong finish to set 1 after being down. Bustamante over the block line.
Good transition by April Bustamante on the right side. Good over the line shot.
Back to serve now on court number 2 with a 2-point lead.
This could very much be a matchup that we see at the national championship in just 3 weeks. So these matches matter to these teams, especially because they've split earlier this year, Pepperdine and USC.
I expect these 2 teams in the finals. I think Florida State is very strong too. Probably not as deep, although they were able to sneak out a victory here earlier in the season. But these 2 volleyball programs I expect to meet in the finals.
Well, both of these teams, each of these teams has won a national championship already. An AVCA championship. Caputo up. Doug. Bustamante begging, and then knew exactly where she wanted to put it.
Because of the good transition set, April Bustamante has a blocker in front of her, and she just shoots right over.
Yeah, Pepperdine leads the all-time series, 8-5, but USC leads the recent history, have won 5 of the last 7 meetings.
And this, obviously, the 3rd meeting of the season. Pepperdine stealing the first one, the first weekend of competition, and then USC winning this Saturday in Hermosa Beach.
Another big dig, Caputo going up, Belton pulling off. Bustamante, nice dig, but a little low.
That ball a little bit shooty to the net, and Jenna Belton had pulled off the net to help play defense. Again, Pepperdine continuing to set too far off the net.
USC has won 15 straight duels coming into this matchup.
Good side out play right there by USC. I think as a whole, USC setting the ball better.
April Bustamante back to serve. With one of the best servers all time indoor right over her shoulder. And in Bustamante, dig. And then goes cross court as USC celebrates. And look who's right behind her, Samantha Bricio, the 2015 AVCA National Player of the Year on the indoor side. One of the best servers ever was watching that serve.
Well, just one of the best all-around players to ever play. I'd love to see her play on the beach.
Yeah, but remember she told us?
She told us she doesn't like sand.
Doesn't like to get sandy.
Yes, but she's got a great...
She's from Mexico, doesn't like to get sandy.
But she's got a great indoor career ahead of her as well.
Yeah, incredible. And she was just an unbelievable indoor player on the USC team that was #1 for much of the season indoor. Bricio watching her friends. Not a lot of crossover between USC's indoor and outdoor team. In fact, none anymore. And that's great in terms of this sport. New opportunities for new athletes. There's 35 Division I women's volleyball players at USC between the two.
Both former partners going back and forth at each other.
Longest rally, people getting tired, and Caputo puts it to the corner as Caputo and Quigo fight back to within 2.
Finally, Skylar Caputo able to find the opening.
And we're going to hop over to the action on court 2 for the 5 pairs for a moment as Kremer and Nightingale with a slim 1-point lead. If they're able to hold on to this match, it is the first point of the duel for USC. Nightingale serves.
Just long in the side change.
So a 1-point lead as this one will go back and forth, much like set 1 did. And we've seen it a bunch, Holly, this year where there'll be adjustments and then the other team wins that following set, and then it comes down to the third and deciding set. And so right now, USC's Nightingale and Kremer will receive as Samantha Cash serves.
Good hustle play by Zoe Nightingale, trying to keep it alive. Can't tell if Zoe Nightingale in pursuit ran in or towards the camera and then pulled away. They're complaining that the cameraman was in their way. 18 all, timeout.
Well, the lead that SC had diminished. And so we go back to our 2 boxes and take a look at the action on court 1 while court 2 is in a timeout. It's a 1-point game. Belton and Bustamante with a very slim lead on court 1. Belton passes. And over and just keeping it simple to the line.
Well, the rhythm between Bustamante and Belton so much smoother than we saw earlier in this year. And Jenna Belton doing a good job over the line block for the open court.
Bustamante, tough serve off the net. And then Caputo finds that deep corner.
Skylar Caputo diving pass, keeps it alive, finding the corner from the left side.
And as they do a side switch on the right side of your screen on court 1, take a look at what's happening on the left side of your screen. Court 2, it's tied up at 18 apiece. Serve goes to Kremer. Kremer goes high off the block. It's slowed down. Takes a longer swing, but it goes long and out. 1-point lead for Cash and Cyber.
Pepperdine's having success because Samantha Cash is really affecting Joe Kramer, touching a lot of balls on the block, slowing them down, giving them the ability to score.
It's a 6 6-3 Pepperdine run on the left side of your screen. Make it 7-3 now as Pepperdine's pair of Cash and Cyber sits at set point. Can Pepperdine put it away on the left side of your screen right now? Set point. And they cannot.
That time Joe Kramer goes up high, clears Samantha Cash, no deflection on the block, and finds the open court.
Action on the right side as on court one, it's put down by Pepperdine. And so tied up at 19 apiece on the right. If Pepperdine on the right side of your screen, Caputo and Quiggle, can push it to 21, then they will win the first point of the duel. But they're going to take a timeout over there. So let's look on the left side as Kremer attacks.
Both Pepperdine players there, just a little bit tentative. Joe Kremer gets that ball to drop for USC, and now all tied up.
They're tied up now, 19 on court number 1.
Kremer and Nightingale, 1-1. You've got to win by 2. And there's 1 point. So Kremer and Nightingale can push it. Pick up the first point of the duel here.
The sophomore, Joe Kremer, back to serve.
Match point for USC.
You go, James. 19 off, Tyler.
Zoe Nightingale up to block. She wanted it too, you could tell. Hit line.
Well, Samantha Cash came over and passed that middle ball. She wants it for Pepperdine. Big time side out right there.
So as they side switch on court 2 on the left side of your screen, take a look at court 1. They're back in action. Tight serve down the line. And a long delivery, and that puts Caputo and Quiggle in the driver's seat.
Well, little tweak in the pass, tweak in the set, unforced hitting error for SC.
Set point for, or match point as well for Pepperdine on the right side of your screen. Belton, dug by Caputo so carefully, by the way. And tough dig over. Net violation. Who touched the net? It was on USC's side. And Pepperdine picks up the first point of the duel.
Wow, that was exciting and back and forth, but Caputo and Quiggle made the plays at the end of both first and second set to win it.
And no time to rest. It is match point on court number 2. And Pepperdine, Cash, and Cyber say, not yet.
Big time aggressive swing by Sarah Cyber from Pepperdine, all tied up again.
So as we exclusively join that action on court 2, Pepperdine's team going to cheer them on. Off the tape. And Pepperdine
stays alive. Actually, set point in the second.
Tough one as they're trying to chase it down, put to the back line, and Pepperdine takes the second set. Cash and Cyber say it's not done till we say it's done. They're going to go to a third.
Well, USC gave it all they could to keep that ball alive, keep it alive, but Pepperdine makes them pay.
We told you it was going to be a fight to the finish. The defense was strong between both of these teams. The fives, not done yet. It'll go to a third set.
Overall titles are still the most in NCAA women's golf history.
And Pepperdine was motivated. Nina Matthews celebrating and talking with her players after a fight back in the second set to tie it up and take it to the third set.
And that's as exciting as it gets.
So third set action. Holly, it's a little bit different. Take us through how that shorter third set affects things.
Well, it's a race to 15, basically. You still have to win by 2, but you have to play really clean, eliminate the errors, and if you can get a nice lead, it helps.
Number 2, the Wings get the opening point. Back to serve, number 24, Sarah Cyber.
Sarah Cyber back to serve. Short serve, Kremer grabs it, Nightingale goes up wanting to crush, sends it wide.
Good idea by Zoe Nightingale, but just not executed correctly. Did not snap that down and keep it in the court.
They've been serving Kremer all day. That one a tough ace serve as Nightingale tries to chase it.
Tweak in the pass. Sarah Cyber putting some pressure on Jo Kremer right now for SC. And then Zoe Nightingale just forced to chase that down, or try to.
First 3 points. They're in set number 3 on court 2.
Nightingale puts up a nice ball, and Kremer puts it away.
Big kill. Actually, Sarah Cyber in the right spot. Thought that ball was hit long, but Jo Kremer finds the corner for USC. Good set by Zoe Nightingale, pushing her partner to the net.
Nightingale up to block. Dug by Kremer, and now Kremer with one blocker. Shot back. Long rally, Cyber goes little over Nightingale.
Sarah Cyber making some big plays defensively and then able to get that to drop over Zoe Nightingale's block. Ball was set really low and tight. Sarah Cyber did not have a lot of options. She had to left-hand pokey that ball to get that over.
And Holly, the 4 win by Pepperdine was so big. A 5 win would be huge because coming up is Hughes and Clays, who haven't lost in over 50 matches. And so to win at 4s and 5s, it all counts the same for a point.
Absolutely. I think every point today is so clutch for either team, and for Pepperdine to get on the board here at USC first, that was a good start for them.
Back to serve, number 25.
Zoe Nightingale just crushes the line, hitting out of the middle of the court. She loves that cutback.
Cyber passes, no blocker on, and goes right to the back as Zoe Nightingale was pulling off.
Sarah Cyber, a transfer from Arizona. Both parents were athletes at Pepperdine. Now she's getting the chance, and she is doing a solid job with Samantha Cash. Big kill from the right.
And it tells you the draw of the sport. 3 of the 4 athletes on the floor have come from other schools, or on the sand, excuse me, have come from other schools. Zojo has come from 2 of USC's biggest rivals, in fact, UCLA and Notre Dame. And talk about the football schools.
Sarah Cyber touching a lot of balls defensively. That one just going wide. Zoe Nightingale going aggressive. There's the middle blocker wanting to hammer the ball, but enough power that Sarah Cyber couldn't control it.
Nightingale serves back and up Cyber. Little, beautiful hand from Kremer.
Jo Kremer getting her feet to the ball. She senses Samantha Cash taking that line. She's had a lot of success just tipping it like a short cut shot in front of the defender.
USC trailing by 1. Nightingale puts up a tough serve. And then a big block. Kremer digs it perfectly, takes a good look at the court, and turns it.
Samantha Cash sides out at a really high rate. That time, Jo Kremer with the big dig and kill goes right back at Samantha Cash. Now it's a race to 10, all tied up at 5s.
Breaking it down into 5-point games, basically?
Basically, yeah, you need to win this side, win the next, and, you know, it's only a total of 5 points per side. So you want at least 3 on this side.
Nightingale puts her hands on it. Kremer, that was a significant dig. Good follow by Nightingale and a little help.
Well, good things happen when you keep the ball alive defensively. Zoe Nightingale started that out. She dropped, dug that ball, went over, and then a one-arm stab by Jo Kremer. The trickler off the tape drops for Jo Kremer and USC.
Dig by Kremer. Nightingale takes her time, as you mentioned, Holly, not setting during her indoor career. Has really worked on it, puts up a good set for Kremer. Third in a row. And then just a shot to the line. Cyber, so smart.
Jo Kremer had a couple opportunities. It looks like they're leaving her cut shot open. If she would cut the ball, it would drop. That would be the short cross-court shot by Jo Kremer going to her left side.
The atmosphere here inside Merle Norman Stadium is fantastic, and this tells you about the team sports aspect. These are the 5 pairs. They are completely surrounded by fans right now.
Well, in the level of play, it's so fun to watch this kind of level in college volleyball all the way down. These are the 5 pairs, and this is a very high level.
We mentioned that USC are the defending champions in both the team and pairs. They're not going to do a pairs championship this year, in part because they want to show the teams that have the most depth in their programs.
Well, that's what constitutes a great team. You have to have, you can't just have stars like Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes. You need a supporting cast.
USC on a 6-1 run, and both of these teams have been leaders in this sport. Talking about team titles, Pepperdine has won it twice, and USC, the defending national champion. Of course, Long Beach State won as well.
You see right there Gustavo Rocha, also from Brazil. Both Marcio Socoli and Gustavo are Nina Matthews assistants at Pepperdine, trying to prepare Sarah Cyber and Samantha Cash to come back in this match. They're down 6-8 in a race to 15.
All those teams were AVCA beach volleyball champions this year, an NCAA championship for the first time. Both these squads expect to be there and vie for it. And look who's here. Lynn Swan, just today named the new athletic director of USC, coming out and seeing his team. And he will take over in June when Pat Hayden moves on. And a kill. He's witnessing Pepperdine challenging hard within 1.
Sarah Cyber comes out banging for the 7-8 switch. Marcio Socoli joining the group of coaches, trying to help his team come up with another point.
Sarah Cyber back to serve again.
They continue to go at Kremer. And Kremer continues to deliver.
That time off the tape, but I'm telling you, they're giving her that sharp cut shot all day long. Sarah Cyber's playing to her for her line.
Turning the other way, and Zoe Nightingale says, not on my net.
Little bit tentative on 2 option. 10-7, that's a nice lead in this 3rd set.
Nightingale goes down the line, just a little wide.
Just missing. Good aggressive attempt, but you can't afford to miss your serve in this 3rd set.
Nightingale goes to Kremer. Kremer so smart. High line, back of the box.
Well, it's interesting because Pepperdine's playing her for that shot, and she's still able to get a drop. Look, Sarah Cyber went right. Good run, almost touches it, but USC point.
Nightingale says, don't you remember, I won a national championship with this block. And Cash says, I don't care.
Samantha Cash just covers that ball. Boom, down the line for Pepperdine. Again on the side change, but USC with the 2-point advantage.
And what a match for Lynn Swan to come and watch, as it has been an incredible start to this ultimate rivalry. Lynn Swan on campus today, and big sign on their website today saying welcome home to Lynn Swan, as he is named the new athletic director. You think Kremer and Nightingale have enough pressure? I wonder if you tell Swan that it's Notre Dame and UCLA he's watching in prior games.
I don't think he cares as long as they're in USC colors now. And the scramble play by USC keeps it alive. Pepperdine makes the error. Good things happen when you dig the ball and keep it in the court.
This is the difference between Pepperdine needing one more match to win the duel and all the pressure falling on the 1, 2s, and 3s if Kremer and Nightingale can tie this up. Going to the line, off the block, and Kremer and Nightingale continue to inch towards the end.
Big time play by Joe Kremer. Going really high because Samantha Cash is a big block.
Nightingale serving. Missed opportunity there.
Second missed serve in the third set for Zoe Nightingale. You cannot do that against a strong Pepperdine team like Cash and Cyber.
But you also can't serve a lollipop, right?
I agree. There's a happy medium in there.
Cash and Cyber are going to step on the gas. It has to be now. They can't do it where every point is a match point. Kremer takes a look at the net. Defense is there. And this is match point for USC's Kremer and Nightingale.
That's the ball I wanted to see Joe Kremer hit, and Sarah Cyber is so good she touched it anyways.
To the back line, Nightingale digs.
That's the middle blocker, and Zoe Nightingale wants to go up and bang that ball instead of shooting at high line. I like the hard approach. You just have to execute and keep the ball in the court when that's for match.
And she knows it too. You can see afterwards, that's right, I'm a beach player now.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how USC responds. They need a big side out right here. Does Pepperdine go after Zoe Nightingale, who just made that hitting error, or they go back at Joe Kremer?
A big side out would mean the match for USC. Turn the other way, it's good, and Pepperdine stays alive.
Pepperdine has scored on that particular play when Samantha Cash can get a good touch at the net. Sarah Cyber sets it up on 2 for the kill.
And this is the way it should be. Look at Zoe Nightingale's eyes locked on Dane Blanton as she's looking for that coaching and that moment. Pac-12 teams have grown over the course of the short career of beach volleyball. Take a look at the growth.
Well, you see USC. We know UCLA, one of the top teams in the country at number 4. Arizona having a great season. Arizona State, Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal both starting to develop their programs. And then Utah will join the group next season.
Shows the incredible growth of this sport, and that's only through one conference. We're going to get to see all those teams in the Pac-12 championships, the first time that there's been a tournament sponsored by the Pac-12. That'll be at the end of this month. And this facility hosted here at Merle Norman.
And I'm looking forward to see how the teams progress, especially Oregon and Washington. We haven't seen a lot of them. Stanford and Cal, a solid season under their belts. It's going to be fun to see everybody competing against each other.
And Arizona beat Arizona State earlier today on our network with 4-1 win. And it is still match point USC. Kremer with her 7th kill, closes it out, and this duel is tied up at 1 apiece.
Joe Kramer goes up and bangs it right at Sarah Cyber for the big USC kill and a point, all tied up 1-1. This is what we expected.
This is huge. This is the difference, and so all the pressure is going to fall on the 1, 2s, and 3s when the second flight of action gets going. Defense was hot in the first flight. More action coming up. We'll see the top team in the nation next.
This is TrueCar.
We're tied up at 1 apiece at Merle Norman Stadium. The matchup, this defines the beach rivalry matchup. Top 2 teams in the nation, and Holly, what a start it was.
It was fantastic. Belton and Bustamante put up a fight with Caputo and Quiggle, but came out down 0-2, and then Kremer Nightingale battled back in the first set and the third set to steal that victory from Cash and Cyber, who beat them just Saturday.
And so all the pressure is going to come down to the 1, 2s, and 3s. Hi, everybody. Anne-Marie Anderson alongside 3-time Olympian Holly McPeak. And Holly, this shows the depth of these programs, that each team really counts for those points.
Well, we expected this. We know that both teams have the experience, have the depth, and are very equally matched up. So it's just all about execution. And at the 4s, I felt like Caputo and Quiggle executed at the end of the sets, and that was the difference. And then Joe Kremer came up big for USC at the 5s.
Yeah, we had some time to talk with both coaches, of course, preparing for this match. And as we started with Anna Collier, we talked about that matchup, Zojo, as she calls Zoe Nightingale, and Joe Kremer. And she was saying that she wasn't sure about them earlier this year, but that she found the toughness in them and that she had them right yesterday. What'd you see out of this match that kind of confirms that for her?
Well, I think you see the confidence. They have been competing for their spot within the USC volleyball program, and that kind of competition is healthy. It makes you better. You have to perform under pressure. They've had Queens, which is you competing as your own against your partner and everybody else, and them proving themselves time after time that they should be out there competing and representing USC.
Meanwhile, for Nina Matthews at Pepperdine, again, she also made a change. Flipping, she was not happy with the play of Caputo and Quiggle, and they came out and said, look, we want to show you we can fight.
And they did. They have been struggling at 3s, Skylar Caputo and Corinne Quiggle. They made the drop to 4 and performed and got a big point for Pepperdine.
And so as we look ahead, of course, we're going to talk about Hughes and Clays, the top team in the nation, the defending pairs. But before we do, let's talk about the 2s and 3s. Because with Hughes and Clays winning every match so far, Allie Wheeler and Nicolette Martin and Alexa Strange and Sophie Bukovic have a lot of pressure on them to kind of live up to that USC image.
Well, I feel like each pair has that pressure in a type of matchup like the 1s and 2s in the country. But Alexa Strange and Sophie Bukovic, I feel like they're vulnerable. Sometimes they're great. Sometimes they make too many errors. They dug 19 balls in transition 0 of the 19 against Pepperdine this weekend. You cannot win a match doing that. So that's very important. Nicolette Martin and Allie Wheeler, great chemistry. I think they're gamers, and I think they're playing at a really high level right now. But lots of pressure on every pair, including Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes. Everybody expects them to win. There's a target on their back. Everybody wants to beat them.
Yeah, and Anna Collier talks a lot about twinship and the partnership between these players. For Nicolette Martin and Allie Wheeler, they're the only pair for USC that has spent their entire careers together, 79 wins together.
And they have a special chemistry, so when it comes down to everything on the line, Anna Collier likes them in the matchup.
Meanwhile, let's get to talking about the ones you talked about, Clays and Hughes. They've won 52 straight. What makes them special?
Well, I think the thing that makes them special is they continue to work hard. They are almost volleyball nerds just in the fact that they want to get better. They want to learn. When you talk to Coach Dane Blanton, he said, oh, just tell us anything. We want to learn, which is a good thing. They continue, even though they're the best in the country, push to get better.
Yeah, and they were the first players to forego the indoor game and declare they were going to go outdoor and make it really something that people were looking at. And so the first flight of action, well, USC and Pepperdine did their part, tied it up at 1 apiece. Sarah Hughes and Kelly Clays getting ready to take center court action. And for senior day, Zoe Nightingale picked up a win in her final regular season home match here at Merle Norman Stadium.
Said yes, you're the best man.
I got this.
Day on Pac-12 Network.
Welcome back. The fans have found every way they can to get a good peek at the courts here at Merle Norman Stadium, even peeking out through the parking structures. Well, it's worth it. It's a top 10 matchup. In fact, 1 and 2 in the nation. This is the definition of a rivalry in this sport already. And so with that, you draw the biggest stars in the crowd. And today, there's no bigger star at USC than Lynn Swann.
No, it's very exciting. One of the greatest football players of all time coming back to his alma mater to lead this athletic program.
Yeah, just announced today Lynn Swann as the new athletic director of this program, and he got right to it, talking there with some Pepperdine officials as he watched the 5-pair, Zoe Nightingale and Joe Kremer, take a win for USC. Earlier today, he addressed the media from the first time for the USC podium.
USC standard is to win national championships. And that's exactly what we're going to do, win national championships. I have 3 goals for the student athletes here. 1 is to graduate. Certainly when Pat, as athletic director here, he raised those standards and raised the graduation rates, and we'll continue to do that. 2 is to win. I believe it's important to win. I believe you practice, you play, you work to win, to be number 1, not to be number 2 or 3. If you're working to be number 1, you're going to get the most out of yourself and the most out of your program. Anybody who's working to be less than number 1 is going to get less than what they're capable of. So we will push these teams to be national champions and to be the best that they can be. And the third thing is for them to experience. What I mean by that is college and the 4 or 5 years you're at a university should be about your personal experiences, should be about growth and development. Yes, it's education, but it's education beyond the classroom and beyond the walls.
Education beyond the classroom and beyond the walls. And for these athletes, it's new opportunities for new athletes, a new sport. This is the first year that it's no longer an emerging sport status. And so let's get to the action with the second flight of games. 3 courts of action happening all at the same time. But we're going to start off with our eyes on court 1 and the nearly unbeatable pair of Clays and Hughes, and see if Pepperdine's ones, Heidi Dyer and Taylor Racich, can hand them their first loss of the season.
Well, anytime there's a target on your back, you have a little bit of an off match, the other team's on fire, things can happen, but Sarah Hughes and Kelly Clays working hard, laser focus. But you see right there, Taylor Racich, number 15, in the right spot for the Kelly Clays bomb. Digs it over for the kill. Dig and the kill.
And Racich just has a big smile on her face because she knows, look, I'm in the right spot. I'm going to be able to get some things up, but wow, that was sharp. And that time there is an error.
Kelly Clays going high off the hands of Heidi Dyer. Heidi Dyer, number 22, just a freshman, plays indoor and beach for Pepperdine.
Sets up, and a great defender is Clays. Dyer has the kill.
Heidi Dyer going very sharp. Sarah Hughes touches it, just can't control it.
Taylor Racich, left-handed, great server for this team. This is Heidi Dyer. And as you mentioned, one of only 4 on the Pepperdine team who's beach and indoor. And Clays, she's quick.
She is a fast twitch athlete. That means she's springy, quick, explosive. Goes high off the hands of the blocker again for USC.
Kelly Clays goes down the line. Waits for it, her right hand sends it back. Just looks light on her feet.
Kelly Clays, because she's so quick twitch, I feel like she doesn't stop, relax, and dig. She's in the right spot, but she jabs at it. See, it's a quick jab, and then Sarah Hughes does all she can to keep it alive. Point Pepperdine.
Serve in the seam between a really experienced couple of players. Sarah Hughes had something to say.
We've been seeing a lot of lefties have success serving kind of out of the middle, and it crosses towards the right side player and then cuts back towards the middle.
Clays takes a look down at the line as she comes down, and wow, that is the biggest block of the day.
Heidi Dyer all over that ball for Pepperdine.
And the Waves 3.
Kelly Clays wanted to hammer that.
Clays takes off her glasses as shade has crossed across the courts at Merle Norman. Of course, they switched to the other side. There's no sun at all on the side that Clays and Hughes are on. Hughes. And Clays just so smart.
Well, Kelly Clays established the hit already. Now she goes with a little finesse shot over the block. Because she's established the power, the defender has to dig in.
According to Anna Collier, Sarah can get people in trouble with her serves. Hughes back to serve.
Taylor Racich uses her left hand, finds an opening in the defense.
27-0 this season as partners are Clays and Hughes. They've won 52 straight dating back through last year. Clays' pass off the mark. Hughes fixes it for her, and then it's all about the hand.
Kelly Clays going with the shot option, open net. Right out of the middle of the court, Sarah Hughes puts up a nice hittable ball. Chop shot in front of Taylor Racich.
Powerful serve, goes cross country to block the ball, and what a turn. Uses her right hand and then puts up a hittable ball for Hughes.
Heidi Dyer, just a freshman, but grew up on the beaches of San Diego, gets her feet there. She and Kelly Clays about the same size. They battle at a high altitude, gets that poke shot to drop.
Racich's sister, Caitlin Racich, was Pepperdine's first ever beach volleyball scholarship recipient and won the inaugural pairs title with Summer Ross in 2002. Right now trying to take down the pairs champions, Clays and Hughes. Similar score on the other court in court 2, but flipped Vukovic and Strange with the 2-point lead.
Shot for the point by Sophie Vukovic.
Hughes. Serves cross, no blocker on, and that's just fine with Heidi Dyer.
Heidi Dyer's got some size, uses it deep down the middle. USC going at Heidi Dyer, Pepperdine going at Kelly Clays.
And they keep going at her. That serve wide and long.
Side switch, 6-8.
Looks like a side change. Score is not flipped.
Well, and on the side change, on the slow walk is the only time these coaches can really talk to the players. And so the up official thinks that the score is different than what it shows.
Pepperdine's got 8, USC 6.
Wade Spike goes in on court 3, and it's tied at 7 as they make the second switch there.
So with that little bit of confusion, a little bit of time for these players to rest and communicate, you can see Dyer and Racich having a good talk. In fact, they went 3 with USC earlier this year. That was the one loss that they had in a set.
Troy up by 3 now. Set 1 on court number 2. Sophie Vukovic back to serve.
Beautiful by Racich, but Dyer tries to go over Clays, not happening.
Well, Kelly Clays is a little bit bigger than your average block, and she's there waiting to swat that ball. Heidi Dyer needs to go higher if she wants to clear Kelly Clays.
Yeah, and it may be that she's getting higher than your average player you're playing against, so Racich just pounds it instead.
Taylor Racich is rangy. She's not your typical defender. She's got good size, but nice offensive range, and that lefty's got some power.
Hughes. No blocker on, but she goes straight on. Rasic totally ready for her. Knuckles from Clays. The idea is there, the execution wasn't.
First serve to Sarah Hughes, and Pepperdine gets a good touch defensively, able to score that point. Let's see if they go back to her.
3-point lead for Dyer and Rasic. Clearly they did not read the bio of Clay and Hughes, or just simply don't care. Holly, what have they done right?
I feel like they're playing fearless. They're playing their game, and I don't think they care. I think somebody's got to beat Clays and Hughes. Why not them?
They definitely don't care. They're playing for a Pepperdine team that was #1 until last week.
Very competitive. Both programs have established themselves as the best, and I think it's a healthy rivalry, really pushing each other to be better. Kelly Clays feels the block and challenges it, just a bigger turn in the cross court. Heidi Dyer there just does not reach into that angle because her partner's in the angle.
Dyer and Rasic do not stop talking during this entire match. If you're looking at them, the communication is constant. Movement on that serve.
Good jump float down the middle by Sarah Hughes. Gets a little right-hand turn on the ball, and Heidi Dyer can't pass it.
Hughes, block her up. That's fine. Turns it over high line.
Good turn down the line. From the middle of the court goes Sarah Hughes. Down by 1.
The one pairs fighting it out as you would expect. Plenty of action all day at Merle Norman Stadium. We're tied up at 1 point apiece.
Hey there, can I
12 prospects in the trenches. That's Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific on Pac-12 Network.
Welcome back. 3 courts of action all happening at once. 2 of 3, whoever wins 2 of 3 of these is going to win the duel as we're tied up at 1 apiece. Let's go to the action on court 1, the one pairs. We're still in the first set, and it is tied up at 11. Dyer up. The communication from Rasic, spot on.
And the set, fantastic from off the net, puts partner Heidi Dyer right at the net for the sharp cross-court kill for Pepperdine.
And since we're tied up at 1-1, then whoever wins 2 of 3 of these matches, the 1, 2s, and 3 pairs happening now, that's the winner of this matchup. And we're talking about rankings. This is 1 versus 2. USC just took over the 1 spot this week after beating Pepperdine this weekend. Now this is a quick turnaround rematch.
Absolutely, but now USC on their home turf feeling confident.
Serve now on court 2 as they resume action there. And a point for the Waves. And Bailey will drop back and
Hughes just moves so effortlessly defensively.
She scoots across the court, elevates, and puts it where she wants to. She transitions at a really high rate, and that's so important when you're such a strong defender like Sarah Hughes.
And so what allows her to transition at such a high rate?
Well, she's way up there. She jumps really high and then's got a good hand, sees the open court, and takes it.
On court number 3. On court still in set number 1.
That left hand of Clay's, again, defends well, but she touched the net in the middle of that play.
Heidi Dyer trying to calibrate the size of Kelly Clays. She's got to, if she's going to shoot over, she's got to clear that block, but that time Kelly Clay's a little too aggressive in the net for USC.
And a kill by the Waves. Number 10, Maddie Rowe. Puts up by 1 on court 3.
Short cutty works for Clays.
Smooth side out right there by Kelly Clays. Using a lot more finesse since the beginning of this first set.
Dyer up, picked up by Hughes, and that is what separates these ones teams, both of them, from some of the others. Rasic unloads.
Heidi Dyer looks, Sarah Hughes scoots under that ball, and then Taylor Racich in transition. The middle of that rally, it looked like Sarah Hughes got something in her eye, maybe a chunk of sand on the scramble play, trying to get it out. One of the problems with playing beach volleyball without glasses, in my mind, is all the sand that gets in your eyes coming off the ball, being kicked up. That's why I like to wear glasses, whether it's light or dark.
Well, and you can wear light glasses as well, yeah?
Correct.
Nobody choosing to do that here today. Dyer with some pretty dark-looking glasses on right now, but yeah, as you see Hughes continuing to pull at her right eye. Tied up at 14 apiece. Clays pings it off the block of Heidi Dyer, and a slight lead on court 1 for Clays and Hughes. Court 3, similar story. Martin and Wheeler, a 2-point lead in set number 1.
Everybody pushing one another. Martin Wheeler with a 2-point lead on the Maddie Rowe, and Annika Wilson now 14 serving 15.
And Dyer answers back on court 1, and this is the way it has been. Tied up at 15 apiece, and this is huge. Shows the depth of Pepperdine, makes you really get excited for the national championship coming up in a couple of weeks. And these 1 pairs have not moved all season for these teams.
That time, Heidi Dyer does not get on the ball, and Kelly Clays has an easy chop shot for the kill.
Well, she also went up with both hands, Clays did, and she can crush with either hand. So are you defending her left hand? Are you defending her right? It takes you for a moment to hesitate.
I say stay committed to the right, and if she gets the left and gets it down, congratulations.
We've seen her do it, though, haven't we? Hughes.
Absolutely.
Sharp cutting.
Good touch by Racich, almost keeps it alive for Pepperdine, but this Pepperdine team's not afraid. Touching a lot of balls, playing even with Clays and Hughes right now.
Katie Bailey to serve on court number 2.
Clays and Hughes with a rich history together, as they are the defending pairs champions in the nation, the AVCA Pairs Championship last year. And actually, they'll remain the defending pairs champions until the NCAA reinstitutes that championship.
And you see Taylor Racich's sister, Caitlin Racich, for Pepperdine in 2012, won the title with Summer Ross, who's now an AVP pro trying to represent the U.S. in the Olympics. And then Kirby Burnham, Stevie Robinson, Kirby Burnham, Sarah Hughes, and again Sarah Hughes and Kelly Clays. So the last 3 years, the pairs champions represented by USC.
Yeah, Sarah Hughes probably would have liked to have tried for kind of a Brianna Stewart 4 championships in 4 years, but there is no pairs championship this year. But the Pac-12, well, they will have a pairs championship and a team championship. Join us for the action on Pac-12 Network beginning April 29th.
April 29th, you'll see just the pairs championship, the best duo. So every school will have teams of just 2 competing, representing their school, and then the pairs the next couple days.
And that's really important, Holly, though, because not every team has had the time to develop 10 strong players, but they might have 1 pair that can really compete. And so that pairs championship is valuable.
Correct.
Meanwhile, it was tied up at 15 apiece. USC has hammered out 3 unanswered.
I feel like a good defender like Sarah Hughes gets better as the match goes on. You kind of figure out the rhythm of the other team's offense, and you get a better read. And that's what Sarah Hughes has been doing, making some good defensive plays and then putting it away offensively.
Well played by Dyer, going away from it.
Well, there's the good high shot, finally clearing Kelly Clays. Kelly Clays is up there, but so is Heidi Dyer.
Dyer goes at Hughes this time. And Hughes says, I love it.
Sarah Hughes elevates, looks like she can hit that ball anywhere, and then just goes fast over the line block.
So USC inching towards a set 1 win here, and plenty of work to be done as Dyer and Racich have proven that they are going to be tough competitors in this entire match. Pepperdine very proud of their team throughout. With Dean's List, every single athlete on Pepperdine's team is on the Dean's List, and Nina Matthews wanted to make sure that we know that she's just thrilled with her group.
Big time ace right there by Kelly Clays, goes right at Heidi Dyer's head, and that ball drops, hits the back line for the USC ace.
Set point, USC. Goes right at Dyer a second time. Racich picks it up. What a follow by Clays. Team's so fast. Clays chops it down the line. Set 1 in style by Clays and Hughes.
Well, the great thing about Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes touches everything, but Kelly Clays has such quick feet. She can keep it alive and lift it for her partner, and the kill.
And on court 2, the action just as intense, as we will join Bukovic and Strange at set point against Katie Bailey and Delaney Knudsen.
This is an interesting matchup. I feel like this match has gone both ways, head to head, and right now USC feeling really confident with the 5-point cushion. They just need to side out to win this first set.
Yeah, and USC jumped out to a lead, never trailed in this, but battled from that point on. Bukovic goes down, tags the line, and a second win for USC in the first set. So first sets captured on courts 1 and 2. And Alexa Strange enjoying senior day with her family and a win. She had 10 kills in the first set.
How many gasolines clean?
Party at the Plate on Pac-12 Networks, where champions play.
Welcome back, campus of USC. Things all tied up in this top 2 teams duel. 1-1, Pepperdine and USC. Second flight of action going across. On court 1, USC won the first set. On court 2, USC won the first set. But let's go to the action on court 3, where they're still playing the first set. It is tied up at 23 apiece. Fighting for it hard in extra points. And this was the other switched Pepperdine pair, Holly, Madeline Rowe and Annika Wilson, getting a chance to play the threes today.
Yes, Maddie Rowe and Annika Wilson making some big plays, but right now they're down 23-24, and Nicolette Martin on the back line.
Martin and Wheeler, we talked about it, the longest partnership on USC's squad, serving for the first set. Program record at 79 wins as a team. Rowe sets. Martin up to hit. And goes Cuddy with it, and with that, USC has won the first set for each of their top flight of pairs, 1, 2, and 3.
At the end of that first set, Annika Wilson struggled to side out. USC dropping on her, putting her lots of pressure. Come up with the win.
Let's join the action on court 2 now. Alexa Strange and Sophie Bukovic with a 1-point lead in set number 2. And Strange yelling with plenty of fire in this set.
Well, Alexa Strange, when she gets on fire with her serve, she's got a wicked left-hand jump serve. She can give teams fits.
Pass is solid. Bukovic waiting for it. Oh, really hard one as Strange muscles it.
Katie Bailey for Pepperdine needs to stay disciplined with her block. She's in the right spot. But both those Trojans, Bukovic and Strange, want to hit the ball.
Katie Bailey, you mentioned number 11 for Pepperdine, was sidelined from beach volleyball for more than a year with a back injury and back brace. and has really worked her way back into playing shape and up to Pepperdine's twos.
She certainly has. It's a good spot for her with the veteran Delaney Knudsen.
Cuddy from
Katie Bailey on the right side gets one to fall. I feel like they need to set her a little bit higher. Katie Bailey's got some nice offensive range, but they're kind of running a low set for her, and she can't get on top and hit it down.
Knudsen serving. Alexa Strange up. Bailey sitting on her left hand.
That time Katie Bailey made sure she pushed over the net. Alexa Strange loves to hit the ball. Katie Bailey was ready that time.
On court number 1, plays the first point of the second set now on court number 3.
With the service error,
back to serve, Sophie Bukovic.
team is sent out, and Bukovic now behind the back line.
Sophie Bukovic likes to be really aggressive and then run to the net and block.
And as she was pulling off, she lost a little time going deep.
Well, it's important when the player is hitting, you have to be stopped so you can react. If you're still moving, you're going to be in trouble to react defensively.
Eliminatory 9 and the Waves 5.
Bailey, just a freshman, as we talked about, out of Ojai. Strange up again.
That time, Katie Bailey for Pepperdine, the blocker moved way inside. I think Alexa Strange saw her, tried to make the adjustment, just made an error.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was a very demonstrative move inside, like, see me, see me? It worked, and it's tied up at 6 apiece. But followed up with an error. And the pair of Strange and Bukovic, this is their first full season together for Bukovic. She came from Long Beach State. Strange came from Nebraska, both of them giving up the indoor game.
Pepperdine feeling the pressure right now. USC serving tough and pulling off the net, playing defense, forcing Pepperdine out of bounds.
Bukovic and Strange, 20-8 record this season as partners. And as I said, that Anna Collier, as you see the head coach there, has been encouraging her players to take some risks during the season to prepare themselves for Gulf Shores. One of them, Strange has beautiful hands. She got called a lot on her hands in Hawaii, and Anna Collier saying, don't put those hands in your pockets. Keep them out. Keep setting through this. And she did. Another great serve delivered, goes a little bit long as Knudsen gets out of the way.
Referee saw that out, said it was close. USC asking him to check the ball mark. Jim Graham, the up referee, says he's clearly saw it out, does not need to check the ball mark.
Hughes with the kill. Now the eliminatory coming up here on court number 1. Waves in the same on court 3 as they're up by 3.
There's been plenty of fight for USC at the twos all year.
Easy.
As as Strange sends another one out, but Anna Collier, when she has her teams play off, they still always come out in this order.
And she likes to have them play off and earn their spots, but they establish themselves all the time in this particular order, 1 through 5.
That one is a connection for Strange.
Alexa Strange frustrated, making some unforced hitting errors, not getting wide enough on the previous attempts. I like her approach right here, able to hit that sharp angle for USC.
And you saw Alexa Strange being walked out for her senior day celebration by her father and her mother, Tara. Her mother, Tara, lost her vision more than 20 years ago, only was able to see Alexa as a baby. But she still comes to her beach volleyball matches, sits with somebody to explain the action to her so she can be present and hear the crowd and feel the action. And there you see her sitting with her husband. Greg Strange telling Tara every move his daughter's making.
You can see his lips moving, explaining what's going on, and I'll tell you, Alexis Strange's mom always looks like $1 million.
Yes, she does, and she's just so happy for her daughter and to be celebrating, and you can see Greg leaning over, explaining the action. A little bit more of a radio play-by-play, I'm sure, in terms of every move that's made.
USC with a nice 2-point lead over Knudsen and Bailey, 11-9.
Strange serving. Passes Bukovic down the line, or excuse me, Bailey down the line.
I feel like Pepperdine's really setting the ball low, trying to get USC in trouble defensively, but it's not paying off. It's limiting them.
And so while the action continues across the way, we are going to step away from a moment as Bukovic and Strange have a 3-point lead in set number 2. Clays and Hughes dominating a 6-point lead on set 1.
Before 8 and 13, watch it go.
Tied up at 1 apiece in this matchup between 1 and 2, a great rivalry game. We're in the second flight of games, second set for each of these, and while courts 2 and 3 are pretty tight, we're going to join the action on court 1. Dyer and Racich came out to a lead in set number 1, but in set 2, Hughes and Clays have been strong. That one, though, Dyer puts it back at Clays.
Heidi Dyer trying to be patient, lining up on the ball. She knows Kelly Clays wants to hammer that ball. So if you're the blocker facing off against her, you need to be ready for that hit.
Clays and Hughes have won 27 matches this year. They are 27-0, and there's the left hand.
You said she was ambidextrous, and yes, she can hit the ball down. Pepperdine in the right spot, just a little unexpected with the left hand.
I cannot imagine having that tool in your arsenal, to have both hands and be able to crank like she does.
It's impressive.
Did you ever play against anybody in the pros who had a left hand like that?
Not that I can think of.
I mean, for her professional career is shaping up. I mean, what a nightmare to try to defend that.
Well, obviously her future is bright. She and Sarah Hughes both together have a bright future, and apart, I think, you know, their games could complement anybody, including some existing pros that are out there.
That serve just a tiny bit long, but the lead is large for Clays and Hughes. It's 15-10 USC lead. Racich goes at Clays. Uses her right hand to bounce it off the sand.
You can tell the way Kelly Clays comes in to hit the ball. She does not want to shoot. She just wants to hammer that ball. That time powers it down for USC.
Score is actually 16-10 right now. Clays and Hughes second set lead. Dyer goes outside. Puts some good heat on it. Hughes talking to herself.
Heidi Dyer returns the favor. Sarah Hughes close to that. A little frustrated with herself.
Pulls out the pause, another perfect set, but no, she gets called for a double on that set.
Wow. My mind, that's a little bit sticky in terms of a tight calling the hand set. You're allowed to use your hands as long as the ball comes out clean without spinning. The referee obviously saw something I didn't.
And here's an opportunity for Dyer and Racich not just to have that point, but to capitalize upon it if Sarah Hughes is still thinking about it. And we'll see where they place this serve. 2 consecutive points that Hughes was frustrated on. One on the dig. She pulls her hands right out again. Just missed. Tricky. Good idea, but just missed.
Well, I love the fearless play by Sarah Hughes to use her hands again, but that time Pepperdine gets a back bump kill to drop in their favor. Making a little bit of a run is Pepperdine right now.
And on court 2, Bukovic and Strange with a big lead, 17-11, now 18-11. Dane Blanton keeping an eye over his team on court 1, as that one is sent long, and it's a USC 17-3 lead. And let's take a hop over to court 2 at that action and see if USC is going to be able to close things out and pick up a point in this duel. They pick up another point there, and it's 19-11.
Right now, the defense of Strange and Bukovic paying off. Lots of pressure on this Pepperdine team right now.
Punch over to court 1 by Heidi Dyer. Now within 3 are
Alexa Strange back to serve. She's had 18 kills in this match so far. Pops that one up, Bukovic. Bukovic's trying to set her, but kind of rushes the set a bit, and now USC on the run. Time to set it up, and it's worth the wait.
Good touches defensively by USC, and it pays off with a kill at the end. Sophie Bukovic from the left powers it off Delaney Knudsen of Pepperdine.
And it is match point for the 2 pair, Bukovic and Strange. They won set number 1, 21-15, and now 20-11 in the second set. The former indoor players from Nebraska and Long Beach. And a little malfunction as the line came up. There's a circle that connects those in the middle.
Right now they're taping it up so they can continue. Usually there's a buckle. Yeah, I see the buckle. I can't figure out what happened with the other part. Oops.
As they continue to try to fix it, you got to make sure that you're not shortening a corner or anything like that as well. And Clays and Hughes continue to roll on court number 1.
Taking the set, the match. And another point on court number 1.
Clays and Hughes won set number 1, and so we'll jump over while that line's being fixed to court 1 again. A 19-15 lead, and will they pick up the next point of this duel for USC? Hughes back to serve, but then they realize, we got our serving rotation wrong, and so it'll be Clays actually.
Alexis Strange serving on court 2, Taylor to action there.
Clays, side spin to Rasic. And Dyer just knuckles it home. She's not gonna let it get away right now.
Beautiful on kill too. Second ball by Heidi Dyer and Pepperdine. 16 looking at 19.
Yeah, and on the side switch on court 1, a 3-point lead for Clays and Hughes. Meanwhile, it is match point on court number 2. Bukovic and Strange at match point, and it is Bailey and Knudsen who are serving. Keep your eye on the left side of your screen, hard as that is with Clays and Hughes and Dyer and Rasic. But on the left side of the screen, it's match point for Bukovic and Strange. Passed by Bukovic. Strange pulls out her hands. And to the back line it goes. Pepperdine not going to go down, but on the right side, now it's match point for Clays and Hughes.
Delaney Knudsen, big kill to stay alive over on court 2.
USC match point, both courts. On the right side of the screen, Hughes goes up to hammer, makes her point, and gets a point for USC. Hughes and Clays put it away, and then the same thing on the left side as Strange hammers it to the back line. 2 quick points for USC as they win the duel.
2 deciding victories by USC. Well played, especially at the 2s. Sophie Bukovic and Alexa Strange played fantastic.
And Clays and Hughes, a great challenge from Dyer and Racich as well. And what a celebration for Strange on senior day, feeling very happy. USC with a 3-1 lead right now has clinched the duel. And there's just one more match in action on the right side, and it is court 3s. Allie Wheeler and Nicolette Martin versus Madeline Rowe and Annika Wilson.
And Maddie Rowe and Annika Wilson, 19-14 in this second set. USC won the first set.
And Holly, the first 2 times these teams met, it was 3-2 each of those times as well. USC on top. Just this past weekend, Pepperdine at the beginning of the season. Shaping up to be the same.
Maddie Rowe making her presence felt. 2014 at the net with the block.
Big dig by Wilson. Looks for the back line. Martin sets. Wheeler, no one on. Finds a sideline.
That's a big time play by Allie Wheeler to drop off the net, dig it, and super sharp cut shot from the right. All Pepperdine needs, though, is a side out to win the second set.
And with the duel in USC's pocket, it still matters to Pepperdine to be able to take this. Nina Matthews continues to evaluate her team, her pairs. Madeline Rowe and Wilson in the 3s spot for the first time, and that's a smart shot as they continue to stave off USC, taking it to a 3rd and deciding set.
And Coach Anna Collier for USC likes this team having the pressure. This team has played together a long time. They're fiery, lots of experience together. She doesn't mind it when all the pressure comes down to this 3s pair.
As it's pushed to a 3rd set, Wheeler and Martin will have to make some adjustments. Holly, what do you expect?
Well, the first set was dominated by USC, and they put a lot of pressure on Annika Wilson. I think they'll go back there.
We'll find out as the 3rd set coming up next, but USC has clinched the duel 3-1.
It is go time for Pac-12 softball.
The West was won.
Welcome back to Merle Norman Stadium. USC has clinched the duel with a 3-1 win. And taking a look at the match summary, Holly, it has been USC challenged by Pepperdine at every spot, but the points that they won were decisive. The 1 pair is delivering yet again.
Well, for the most part, each set has been really close, exception at the 2s. Sophie Bukovic and Alexa Strange dominated their match.
And so as we return to the action on court number 3, the 3 pairs, Rowe and Wilson facing Martin and Wheeler. We got a special guest in the booth with us now, which we don't get to do that often during match play. But Anna Collier, the head coach of USC, joining us now. Coach, since you clinched the duel, we felt comfortable kind of calling you away from your duties to talk about what you saw today from your team.
I really believe that they wanted it more than I've seen them want it before. I think they came out with fire. And we've been talking to them about you have to come out with fire. You have to have passion. You have to have energy. And we really have talked to Sophie and Alexa about that. And I think they wanted this win, and I think they did it. They came out and fought for it.
How much do you like when it comes down to this 3 pairs? I know they're your most experienced team together.
Yeah, if the match was on the line right now, I'd maybe still be sitting here. I may not be as calm, but I might sit here because I have a lot of confidence in this team. They have great twinship that we talk about. They have unbelievable chemistry. They know how to set each other in transition inside out. And as you know, those are really important things.
And I feel like the experience on the beach is there. They've been in these types of tough matches before.
Right, and I love this too because they want to win this, and if this happens somewhere down the line at another match, maybe in some place in Alabama, this is great experience, and that's what I love, is for them to have this experience and hopefully come out with the win.
Well, and the other thing on it is Clayson Hughes, having had such success this season, now 28-0 this season, won 53 straight. That first set, they were challenged by Dyer and Racich. How important it is for them to be challenged consistently in the lead up to Gulf Shores.
I think it's very important. We do not want that team to become complacent whatsoever because, as you know, things can go south no matter who they are or what's going on. So we love the fact that they were challenged and they were like, okay, wake up. We got to fight here. We need to do something. We can't just let them hit it out or let them lose it for us. You know, we have to win it. And I think they challenged them, and I think Dane hopefully got in the box, got in their face a little and said, hey, wake up. Anybody can win on any day. So that was nice.
Maddie Rowe with the jump serve ace, catches the sideline out on the way out of bounds. Goes up 1.54 in this third set.
And so, Anna, we'll have you just stay with us as we kind of call this match and jump in and tell us what you're seeing as the attack going to the high line, and it is good by Wheeler.
Yeah, we've worked a lot on transitional setting, as we've talked about. So I'm looking at the setting, and I think the set's there. There it is. The set's right there. She's got a good spacing. She comes in aggressive, and that high line she can get.
USC has been going after Annika Wilson and dropping off the net with some success.
And they serve at Wilson again. Rowe, nice set. Martin follows it to the line and sees it hit.
That time, Annika Wilson going to the cut shot, gets it to drop. Maddie Rowe, an undersized blocker at the net for Pepperdine, likes to wait and swat the ball.
Yeah, I think that's something Pepperdine may train. They seem to be late and trying to swat a little bit more. We saw that on some film, and we were trying to train that a little bit today.
That time, Allie Wheeler hangs in the air and swats her own block for the USC point. Ball a little bit tight. Maddie Rowe tries to go over, but Allie Wheeler there for USC.
Tied up at 6 apiece. Nicolette Martin back to serve. It's a short set. And Anna, do you ask your players to approach a short third set any differently than they do the first two?
Yeah, we really talk about you got to come out. I mean, if you come out lazy, there's no time to catch up. So I wish they were a little higher up, but you know, the 1 point on a good serve, I'm okay. But I would like it to be the 8-6, 9-6 switch, those kinds of plays.
Allie Wheeler with the quick cut shot from the left shot to win that point.
Martin serves, sails well long.
She's one of our best servers, so we'll let her miss that one. We want her going for it every single time.
I think in one of our previous conversations, Anna, you said to me, yeah, I've told my players, we're never going to just serve in, keep it in, play safe. It's just not your style.
No. Yeah, you know, I don't know. The girls may not like this, but I talk about USC bang, bang, bang. You know, we're going to bang the serve, we're going to bang the hits. You know, we get a little frustrated with the drop shot, so it's USC bang, bang, bang. And let's see if Martin and Wheeler are going to go with the game plan here.
Well, we'll see. It's an 8-7 switch as Wheeler is back to serve. And Holly, you mentioned they were going after Wilson. We'll see if that plan continues as well. It is.
Nice serve.
With no blocker on a late stab, Wilson puts it down.
Maddie Rowe puts that ball right on the net. Annika Wilson likes that cut shot.
Anna, you got something to say, I can tell.
Yeah, that's a good cut shot. That's what I have to say. That's a really good cut shot.
Service error there. It gives a little room to breathe for Martin and Wheeler.
And Nicolette Martin, I'm sure, will remain aggressive from the service line.
Yep.
Wheeler stays on to block. The pokey's over her towards the back corner.
Good side out play by Pepperdine. Starts with a good pass, and that allows them to run the offense they want to run, putting a lot of pressure on Nicolette Martin to run that ball down.
Exactly. Nick wanted to get her in more trouble than she did off that serve, and it just isn't happening.
Looking for the corner. Anna, you said you've tried to break up this pair of Wheeler and Martin about 1 million times to see. Why'd you want to break them up?
Well, you know, I think that Allie Wheeler can play maybe twos. At this point, she's playing so well. So I kind of wanted to reward her with such great play because she is such a great player. And Nick Martin, to me, is a good solid 3. You know, she's going to win for me here. So that's kind of the thinking I had. But their chemistry is so good, and they play so well together. I've tried them with other players, and they just don't play as well, you know. And it's that thing that we talk about. They can't put a number on it. You can't write it down.
Chemistry.
And I think you've said that they've both come to you and said, no, we want to be together.
Yes, they definitely have said that. Definitely. They're roommates, they're best friends, they're really enjoying this. And they even said at one point when I was kind of splitting up, we want to be the first team to play all 4 years together.
There you go.
I said, okay, you keep winning, you might get that wish.
Allie Wheeler, again, nice cut shot. Pepperdine can't do anything about it.
11-10 SC lead. Martin delivers onto the option. Wheeler gets a piece of it. And Wheeler defending the net, but there's a net touch on Maddie Rowe. Point Trojans.
Maddie Rowe trying to save that play, a little too aggressive, touches the net, trying to block it.
That's a big break for us.
Good lead, trying to get to 15, up by 2 is SC, as they said.
Timeout called, and while we have the time to talk, Anna, let's talk about Gulf Shores and what it means to this sport to have an NCAA-backed championship for the first time.
Well, obviously, we would like to get that trophy that says NC2A on it, so I think everybody wants that trophy, and I think it means so much that it is sponsored so quickly. You know, the NC2A stepped up and said, we're going to sponsor a championship for the sport, and everybody has stepped their level of play up. You can hear, this is good volleyball. Hawaii, UCLA, there's so many schools that have stepped that up because it is an NC2A championship, and surprisingly enough, it means a lot. It means a big difference. You know, I have the AVCA National Championship, but it's in my office. That NC2A trophy is going in Heritage Hall. You know, it's significant.
Back to the action after the timeout. Martin continues to serve. They again option, and Maddie Rowe.
That's a tricky over on 2, just clearing the block of Allie Wheeler, drops in for the Pepperdine point, 11 serving 12.
Rowe serving, Martin passes. And everybody a little bit on the run, and this one up nicely for Wheeler, and she delivers. Solid contact.
USC, bang, bang, bang.
Good defensive play by Allie Wheeler to drop off the net, dig that line shot.
So that's the aggression you're looking for.
Every time, every ball, yes. That is the level we like to play.
Wheeler serving, continuing to put pressure on Wilson. Rowe will be up to block. They go high over, and Wilson and SC are now at match point.
Well, transition setting is the key. If you're going to dig the ball, put your partner up at the net, give her all her options, and that's exactly what Nicolette Martin did.
Yeah, and as we said it earlier, we've worked a lot on that this week. This is the piece that we are finding ourselves at right now, that we need to get great transitional sets.
Match point.
No worries. That's a nice aggressive serve.
Right, that's what you want at that point when you've got a little bit of room to give. Annika Wilson now serving, and it, of course, remains match point for SC. Martin going to get the opportunity to put it away, and she grabs it.
She wanted that opportunity. She wasn't getting served earlier, but she took it, knew where to put it. Deep middle for the win.
Anna, what'd you think of what you saw there?
I thought that was great play. I thought that was great win in the third set. That's where I want to be every single time if I can.
What does this win mean? 4-1. You guys have been 3-2 previous meetings. What does this mean today?
I think that this is significant because we won 4-1. It's not the 3-2. It's not the almost. I think we handled it pretty well. And this is going to keep us at the number 1 in the country. And we want to go into Gulf Shores number 1. It makes a difference.
Well, we look forward to being here with you for the Pac-12 championship. And we thank you. You go celebrate with your team as they celebrate and the Trojans fight on. And so, Holly, let me ask you in the wrap-up today, for Pepperdine and USC, what do you see for these two teams that they need to work on in the next 2 to 3 weeks?
Well, it comes down to execution. In transition setting, USC was better today. They were smoother. After digging the ball, they put themselves in positions to score, and if you're going to win an NCAA championship, that means everything.
Well, for my partner, Holly McPeak, and for USC's head coach, thanks for joining us, Anna Collier. I'm Anne-Marie Anderson saying so long from Los Angeles. Merle Norman Stadium, home court defended by the USC Trojans as they remain the number 1 team in the nation, taking down the Pepperdine Waves. Yeah, it was senior day and also a great day for celebration. Beach volleyball on Pac-12 networks right in front of their new AD-to-be, Lynn Swan. So long from Los Angeles. Looks like a perfect beach day.